Hi, I'm a soft skills trainer from the Department of Career Planning and Development, and today we have an interview question to discuss. This is related to any kind of a job role that requires you to work in shifts. So the interviewer might ask you, how do you feel about working in night shifts or on weekends? Well, the motivation of the interviewer to ask you this question is because he wants to basically see how inclined you are to join. The motivation of the interviewer to ask this question is basically to see how inclined you are towards your job and how seriously will you take it, how desperately do you need that job. So in case there is a job profile that requires you to work weekends as in overtime or work in night shifts as opposed to day shifts, or it requires you to change your work timings from time to time, as it happens generally in the BPOs and any kind of KPOs where the company is catering to international market, and in order to cater to the needs of the international market, they have to make sure that people in India are working in night when it was it's day on the other side, and you have to take live calls and things like that. Is what motivates is the basis of this question. So the interviewer also wants to know why. The interviewer also would like to know what is it that motivates you. Also the interviewer would like to know why would you be willing to sacrifice your personal life in order to go for your professional life. So this gives them an insight into your mindset. If you are too agreeable in this situation where you say, okay, whatever goes, I'm going to be working for this particular organization no matter it's day or night, well, that's highly unrealistic. But yes, if you want to do that, there is a way to answer such questions. Let's discuss some of the questions that might come your way that actually mean the same thing. So the interviewer can ask you, so let's look at some of the questions you may receive about shift work, or this same question can be asked of you in different ways. The first one is, how do you feel about shift work? Are you comfortable with shift work or the changing schedule? Do you have experience with your work hours changing from week to week? Or are you available to work nights and weekends? Are there any times when you would be unavailable to be on schedule? So these are the kind of questions that can be asked of you. So let me go ahead and share one example out of my personal life with you. I used to work for this organization which was catering to a US client. That meant that if it was 12 a.m. here, it will be 12 p.m. there. Or if it was 9 a.m. here, as in when we start the office, it would be 9 p.m. there, wherein people would be sleeping. So there was no point of working at night, starting my shift at 9 a.m. here. So that is why I was actually asked to come into a night shift that started at 9 p.m. So because it was a night shift, there were always slots to that shift. And at times I used to go to work at 12 a.m. also, which was pretty difficult because there were not so many people who were working in these shifts. And, going out at 12 a.m. at night to work was actually meant that I was actually changing my entire body clock, and that took a toll on me physically also. Now, these are the things you need to really consider before you say yes, because I said yes to that, and after 3 months of working for that organization, my body and mind could not be accustomed to the change in the lifestyle, and as a result, I fell sick and I had to leave the job. So whenever such kind of questions come your way, you really have to be very careful about how you're going to be taking up the question and how you're going to be answering. So let's look at some of the potential ways you can answer this question. Well, consider your personal situation carefully before answering. If you are unwilling or unable to work certain shifts, it's best to be straightforward with your responses, really. So that way you and the employer won't have any unhappy surprises when the schedules are actually issued with you. Consider mentioning the reason that you would be unavailable during a certain hour. Be very brief, no need to go into complicated stories about your personal life. You can simply say, I have to take care of an elderly relative after 5 p.m. or I share a work schedule with my sister or my family where in the first half my family member, or my brother or my sister takes care of my mother, and the later half is where my duty starts because she's bedridden. So any kind of such situations, if they are there, you should not say yes to this question. You should always consider that and explain to the employer that why you can and you cannot take up this job responsibility in different shift timings. And on the other hand, if your hours are flexible and you are comfortable working at unpredictable hours of nights or weekends, make sure that you say so in your response, and you make sure that your interviewer knows that you are okay to work in different shifts. That makes you more flexible and more hireable. Stating your expectations and desires about working nights or weekends or holidays is not wrong really, as long as the candidate provides an honest and sensible reason why or why not he can do so. So it is best to explain these commitments during the hiring process itself. When crafting your answer, you should always consider things like personal goals or habits, or family obligations, or your lifestyle choices too. Let's have a look at some of the sample answers that would help you understand how to give a response to these questions. Now, there are no elaborate responses to these questions. They should be pretty brief and precise. So let's have a look at some of the answers that you can give. You can say, absolutely, I'm single, I live alone, and I don't mind keeping hours that take me out of my 9 to 5 routine. I wouldn't prefer to work at night or on weekends, but again, if the company really requires it and you have a peak season going on, then I won't mind that. I enjoy night work because to me it's a very peaceful environment. However, I need my weekends to refresh and recharge. If there is an urgent need or an emergency, I'll definitely work whatever shifts you need. The company's growth and success are mine as well. Or you can say, I'll definitely work whatever shift is needed because I feel a responsibility towards the company to complete the necessary work. You can say, I have no problem working different shifts as needed. I consider organization and my co-workers to be my family, and if they need me, I'll be there. Your answer can also be based on, I can work any shifts you require. It's my duty to be there when you need me the most. Or, I'm a self-starter and I'm confident making decisions during any shift. You can always say, I can stay focused for a long period of time without getting tired, so I'm available for any shift. Or, my schedule is very flexible and I'm open to whatever shifts you offer. So these were the sample of answers to the kind of question that would cater to if you were comfortable working on weekends or night shifts or do overtime. I hope you will be able to base your answers on the basis of any of the responses that I shared with you today. Thanks for watching. Bye now.